So finally, we know that competency came onto the cover page of NBA uh, July 2024 document. Okay, I'll stop it there. Now, what is this competency? If the competency of a course is wrongly formulated, the implementation of the course will be skewed and thereby affecting the employability and the livelihood of graduates. So the foundation of the curriculum is the competency of each course. So that has to be identified along with the PSOs also, right? And which has to be validated from the industry. Okay. Now, what is this competency about? How do you define it? A student is said to have possess a competency when he or she can perform a macro level job at the threshold level without wasting raw materials, damaging equipment, and hurting anyone. This is what the industry expects of every competency which the student will possess and come to them with that, right? Now, how is this competency developed? That's what we are going to see. It's called the learning outcome attainment curve. So, in a semester, you have one course, say, and the learning attainment has to come, right? So, how do you develop the competency of a course? So, first, what you do, the competency is at the semester end. Fine. And you have the first CLO that is taught maybe in the first 2 weeks. Then you teach the second CLO or CO. Then you teach the third CLO and so on. And when all the 5 CLOs have been taught, okay, what happens? The competency is developed. And that is the threshold performance. What do you mean by threshold performance? The industry knows that within 4 years, you cannot develop expert performance. A minimum acceptable performance is what the industry wants. And that is called the threshold performance. So in one semester, for one course, when you teach the students acquire CLO 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, then and that is integrated, the competency is achieved. Similarly, then you will have the next course. The next course. When all these courses get developed in the student, then you have the PSOs. So the integrated, by the end of the 4th year, all these competencies get integrated into PSOs through the capstone project. Okay. So how is the competency assessed? It is through the micro project. Okay. So for every course, there will be a micro project wherein all the COs get integrated. That's how it should happen. And every project is fully student-centered. Okay. So that way, the PSOs are developed. And after the student graduates out, the learning curve starts flattening because there's nobody to teach. He has to learn on his own, and slowly he achieves the PEOs or expert standard level, EWS level it's called. So PEO is an expert EWS level, while competency is at the threshold level. So this picture gives you an overall picture of how the competencies, PSOs and the PEOs are developed and their relationships. Okay. Now that's why I said, no, you will not get all these things on the internet. These are the things which we have developed over the years for the Indian technical education system especially. So yesterday I had told you, choose an integrated course with a theory and a practical component and write in a single sentence why you are teaching that course. If you have written that, that means you have written the competency of your course. And it should be student-centric and industry-friendly. Okay. If you have done that, maybe you can read out one or two of you. If you really want to any feedback from me, you have to tell the name of your course, in which semester it is, and then read out the competency. Then I can give you feedback whether that competency is correctly formulated or not. Okay. Now you can try out, please. Anybody wants to try? Or should I go ahead?
So when we talk
yeah.
about this, say the meeting of PSOs or even PEOs through courses. So we assume that these POs and PSOs should be attained or met by all the students who are graduating in that batch.
Hold on. PEOs you forget about. You write it and you leave it. You can't develop that.
Correct, sir.
Okay, you cannot measure that. That can be measured only through indirectly, through indirect way of assessment. Within the institute, you cannot measure PEOs. PSOs,
Yes.
definitely you can.
Yes,
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
No.
So with respect to PO, so we
PSOs.
assume, yes, PSOs.
With respect to PSOs, right?
PSOs. So I think it is implicable that all the PSOs are attained or achieved or rather measured, considering that the achievement of all the students in a batch. Now, when we talk about the curriculum, curriculum says that we should have a split of core courses, open elective courses, program elective courses, etc., etc. But when you take up program electives or open electives, whatever it is, not all the students go through all these electives. So we have that category of core courses. So when it comes to this PSO attainment, whether it is a competency, when I write a statement and I focus it with respect to some industry or some industry domain, there are some students within this batch who have not gone through this course at all because it is an elective course.
Okay.
Then how do I arrive at the statement telling that I have achieved this?
Okay,
this
let me tell you. Every institute will have a different PSO. Let me put it. It depends upon your resources, the faculty. Which faculties you have? Do you have a faculty on power systems? Do you have a faculty on electric drives? Do you have a faculty of power electronics? Depending upon the resources or your faculty strength, you will be offering the elective courses. Based on the elective courses and the program courses, that is why PSOs are given the freedom. The NBA has given the freedom to every university or every institute. So depending upon your strength, you will write down the PSOs. Okay. Then if every student will be able to attain it.
Yeah, that's true, sir. But thing is that elective course, since it's an elective course, that is not being taught to every student because student has not opted that course.
Hold on. Let me tell you. See, the student is choosing the capstone project, right?
Yes.
It is he who is. You are not forcing the student to take the capstone. So he will take a capstone project in which he has mastered, or in which of the electives which he has selected. So it is upon to the student. So he will be taking a capstone project such that one or two of the PSOs, or maybe all the three PSOs get addressed, or maybe two PSOs get addressed. It is up to the student.
Okay, so that means should we conclude that we should frame the PSOs based on the core courses alone?
No. In fact, PSOs are based on the, I would say, program elective courses, the verticals you call it. See, core courses are common for all the students, every student, while electives are not for all the students, right? So in order to arrive at the PSO, they will 100% will have to, they have to master the competencies of every core course. Are you with me? Did you get
Yes,
it?
yes,
So
yes.
PCC is 100% they have to acquire it.
Hmm.
PEC may not be 100%. That will, because about the choice of the students, that will be different. So the PSO will be, every student will not have the same type of capstone project, because the electives they have chosen is different, like that. Another thing that nobody asked about integrated course. The industry is not interested in any only theory course or only practical course. Let me put it. See, AICT brought it only from administrative point of view. From industry point of view, there is no practical course. There is no theory course which they want. They want an integrated courses only. So in NEP 2020, all your LOs are based on integrated courses only. So in your practice, in your every outcome-based curriculum, there should not be any practical course only, or there should not be any theory course only. Whether it is elective, whether it is a PEC, or whether it's a PECC. Okay, that's what I want to humbly state to you. Okay, so nobody wants to try out. Let's go ahead. Now, consider the DSP program. DSP is a course title which is taught at the diploma level, which is taught at the ITI level, which is taught at the UG level, which is offered in the PG programs as well in certain places, right? Now, I have written the competency based on the Dublin Accord, which I talked about yesterday. Operate the DSP equipment for the set performance. Now, what will be the competency for diploma?
Implement digital filters.
It would be maintain the working of digital signal processing circuits.
Okay.
Okay, it will be that. That's what they do in the industry. See, implement is not the actual word, it is maintain. Maintain means implement also.
Fine.
Implement does not mean maintain. Maintain includes, implement is a subset of maintain. Okay, so ITI fellow operates maybe one equipment, diploma maintains several equipment, right? So what is the UG program competency then?
Evaluate the performance.
Very good, you remember it, good. Evaluate the performance. So he maintains it, this fellow evaluates it. That's why he gets a higher salary. Okay, the ITI fellow gets a lesser salary, diploma gets a little more salary, UG fellow gets more salary. So what should be the competency of a PG program for DSP?
Sir, innovate.
You tell the total full sentence. See, full sentence have to be told.
Innovate the any modern changes required for improving the digital signal processing setup.
Okay, who's speaking? Who are you?
Sir, Dr. Kalingabal from NIT Raipur.
Okay, very good. Very good. Innovate the DSP devices oblique systems to improve the performance of the equipment and processes in industrial applications. Now you have seen the difference of the competency. That means it is a course title does not give you the depth. Only when you write the competency, it gives the depth to every student. So every student knows what he has to do in the industry after studying that course. Okay, so in a similar way, you have to identify the competencies of every course of your program and get it validated from the industry, and then you make the program structure. Okay, now this is SAR page 12 NBA. Now what is the problem here? SAR 20 on the cover page competency is given, but inside there is nothing. So in course articulation metrics also, it is not from POs and PSOs, they are going straight to COs. You can't do that. You will be wrong. You'll go wrong many times. So this is one blunder which NBA has done. On the cover page, they're saying competencies, but nowhere it is getting reflected inside. Okay. So now how is this to be done? This is how I have done it. And wherever I'm giving my consultation, you saw the difference. I have improved on what SAR 2024 has done. In SAR, only POs are given and PSOs given, right? Generally, it is only one PSO that is addressed in one course. Generally, very few cases, two PSOs. So this is what I have done. For digital signal processing, the competency is given, the PSO is given, the PSO2 is being addressed, then the COs are given like this. So everything is much more clearer here than what SAR 24 has given. So I can just tell you a statement. Getting NBA is not a big deal. You will get it. But if you do the right thing, anybody who comes will have to give. See, I have been on NBA teams. So earlier, when I was working with Nitter, and when I went, my team members, sir, we do not know about the outcomes. You look at, because you are from Nitter, you know better. So I looked into the entire academic part and they looked into the other parts. In fact, every member should know that. Therefore, just like NIT, what happened, even though it was not an outcome-based career, NIT Calicut got it because the team member was like that. So the basic problem is it depends upon the team members or the team whether you get an NBA or not. But if you do the things correctly, they will 100% they'll have to give you. Otherwise, it is a game of chance. So learn to do how the course articulation metrics has to come. That I will just show you how it is done. Okay. So we have the PEO, which is industry based. Then at the university, you have the PLO. Then you have the competency. Then you have the CLO. Then you have the PRO, ADO, LUO, and all these things. They are at the universal level. They are at the global level. This is the macro level. This is the meso level. And these are the micro levels. They are all learning outcomes, but they are at different levels. And how that has to be developed, I'll have to see. So one course, each course will have a competency. It will have a CO. It will have PROs. It will have ADOs, and it will have LUOs. So the one course structure, we will try to see how this can be developed. Okay, let's go ahead. This I have already done in this book of mine. This was published in 2021 by PHI. Many of I just want to tell a story. One professor from South India, I'm not naming the place, what he did was, maybe I'll say the place, but I'll not tell the institute. From Coimbatore, he was searching for a book and he found this book. He bought it and he read through the whole book and he made a presentation to his principal. Sir, this is the way we can really develop an outcome-based curriculum, competency-focused. Then he said, do you know the author? He said, I do not know the author. He said, can we call him and have an offline program? He said, sir, I don't have the phone number. He went to the internet. From the internet, he got my phone number and he rang me up. And I said, well, what do you want? And then he said, we want an offline course. And I said, even before that, another famous, very old engineering college in Coimbatore had already contacted me. And they called me twice. And I was there in the city. Then he came to my hotel and he said, we also want. Coimbatore, there are many institutions which I'm consulting and giving my feedback, both offline and most of the time it is offline. They want offline only. So that's how things are going. The second presentation is on formulating COs and micro level learning outcomes in the context of NEP 2020. Okay, and revisiting revised Bloom's taxonomy. I do not know whether we will get time for revise that. We'll continue tomorrow if at all we don't get time with that. But let's see how we go. My so our thing is my request to all of you is all of you choose one course, integrated course, which you have already which I told you yesterday, and as we discuss, you develop the COs for your course, you develop the micro level for your course, and automatically the course structure will be ready. Okay. Okay. So the outcome of this session is derive the COs. The earlier outcome we have completed. Now in this session we'll have derive the COs or CLOs from the competency and the micro level practical outcomes and the affective domain outcomes from the COs and CLOs. So I'm taking one example, electronics and communication engineering. You can take your program and start writing the PEU. So the PEU for this one is innovate digital electronic systems and or subsystems for a better performance. So this was the PEU which we already seen. From the PEU or based on the PEU, the PSO is written. The PSO is, this is at the global level, that was at the universal level. Evaluate the performance of the digital electronic systems in various applications. This is now not DSP, but for the whole group of courses in electronics and telecommunications, right? So evaluate the performance of digital electronic systems in various applications. Now, in NHQF page 8, 44 and 65, they are talking about PLO and not PSO. So I am using the word PLO over here. And I think you all should start using it. And so that when even the NBA team comes, says this is what NHQF talks about. So we are using the word PLO also. So from the PSO or based on the PSO, we arrive at the competency. So the competency is evaluate the performance of digital signal processing in various applications. You see the difference? In PSO, it addresses a number of courses, while in competency, it addresses only one course, that is digital signal processing. Is it clear? Okay. And because of this, NCRF talks about in all these pages, NHQF talks about in all these pages, and because of that, NBA has included that in NA. That means up to this, before SAR 2024, competencies were not there. But now they are still not going forward. It is still at the cover page. So I just want to say that they did it. So now we are going to develop the course structure. So up to competencies you have already developed. Now we are going to develop the learning outcome at the CO level, learning outcome at the PRO level, ADO level, LUO level, and the topics will emerge out. So the topics emerge out from here. Okay, that's what I want you to say. Okay, now what is a competency? We have already seen that. A competency is said to be, a student is said to possess a competency when she can perform a macro level job at the threshold level without wasting raw material, damaging equipment, and hurting anyone. So that means it consists of subtasks. That means that was a macro level. This will be a meso level subtask. So every competency will have how many COs? That means in each course there will be 5 to 6 COs or CLOs. Are you with me? Yes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So COs are basically subtasks. Okay, subtask means it includes all the 3 domains of learning. This is what it means by a subtask. Okay, now we have seen that competency is this one. Now, what is the competency? What are the COs? Read out. Each of the following COs are industry specific subtasks of the above referred competency written at the meso level, also expected to be done by the student in the industry to complete the main task. So competency is the main task while CLOs are subtasks. Thus, each CO is an integrated performance of the 3 types of micro level outcomes that are related to the cognitive domain, the psychomotor domain, and the affective domain. So we have 5 COs. Interpret the functioning of the various DSP methods. Now, this is related to your first unit or first module of topics. CO2, evaluate the stability of the digital signal processing when transforms are applied. This is related to the second group of topics or units. Okay. Third one is the third group of topics. Fourth is the fourth group of topics, and fifth is and all these are industrial subtasks. He will have to interpret the functioning. He will have to do in the industry. Evaluate the stability. He will have to do in the industry. Interpret the application. He will have to do in the industry. Evaluate the performance of the filters. He has to do in the industry. Choose the relevant architecture in various DSP applications. Here, that means whether it is CO, whether it is competency or CO, all these should be done at the industry. You cannot have describe and explain. That's what I want you to say. You can't have understand written over here. You can't have realize. They are not CLOs or COs at all.
Sir, I have a doubt, sir, here.
Yeah.
So this is Wilson from Karun University, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
Yes.
as per this AICT examination reformation, sir,
Yeah.
in page number 24,
Yeah.
they have given
You're
this
talking of
assessment.
a 2018 one, no? 2018.
Yes, sir, 2018, sir, exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Sir, given
Yeah, I know.
3 assessment methods for different Bloom's cognitive levels. And
Let me tell you.
Yes, sir.
Bloom's taxonomy is not for COs.
Okay,
Bloom's
sir.
taxonomy is only for cognitive domain outcome.
Okay,
Please,
sir.
all of us will have to know. That is the biggest blunder AICT and NBA has done.
Okay,
They
sir.
are confusing between cognitive domain and COs. CO is a subtask.
Okay.
Okay, that's the biggest
Okay,
blunder they have done. So these things in NEP we have pointed out are that. Therefore, NEP 2020 is trying to address all that or to bring about the corrections.
Okay.
Okay. So
All right.
it has nothing. SEOs has nothing to do with Bloom's taxonomy. I'll come to that.
Okay, fine, sir.
Yeah. Anybody else? Thank you, Wilson.
Sir, this is Dr. Vishnu.
Pardon me.
This is Dr. Vishnu, sir, from Manipal. Sir, the course, since I'm not from electronics background, I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
This course is DSP, digital signal processing. Is it possibly in the third year or something like that, sir?
Pardon me. Is it?
Whether this course is offered in the third year or
It
maybe
can be. It differs from university to university.
Okay.
Some
So,
people
what
offer
I-
in the 4th semester. Some others offer in the 5th semester, like that.
Okay. So what I was what I was thinking of is, sir, there are some courses, say for any given program, at the third semester level, which are a kind of prerequisite for the higher semester courses, or rather, they are like an introductory courses. So, wherein such kind of courses, we really cannot go in depth to the competency that can reach to the industry level from that introductory courses.
Let me tell you. That is your interpretation. Okay, but that is not what the industry interpretation is. Industry says from every course, some competency is there. Now you tell me which course is that. I will tell you the competency, whichever course. I've
Say
done
for
hundreds
example,
of courses. That's what I'm telling. You tell me any
yes,
course which you think is a prerequisite. I will give you the competency which the industry wants. Tell me.
okay. Say so for example, like say material science and engineering in
Material
the
science.
offered
Okay. No,
and in
no,
the
no.
third
Okay,
semester.
okay. Very good, very good, very good. Now, why do you teach material science? If you can ask yourself the question, why do you
Correct.
teach material science?
So we
You are
think this
teaching
is
material science. Listen. You are teaching material science to perform in the industry or to do some task in the industry. Okay. Now, if it is electronics engineer, the material science will be different. If it is an electrical engineer, the material science will be different. It is not common. There may be
yes,
some common units, but material science for electrical engineering you have to teach. You can't have generic courses. Okay.
yes,
So you're talking about which discipline?
yeah,
Because
mechanical engineering
material science for civil engineering is different.
different.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes,
So which you tell me that, then only the competency can be done. So
yeah, that's
which discipline are you talking about?
mechanical engineering, sir.
Huh? Mechanical engineering.
Mechanical engineering.
Okay. Okay. So now, why do you teach material science and mechanical engineering? So
Yeah,
your
because
course title should be, hold on. So your course title should be not material science, materials for mechanical engineering. You have to start coining. You have to change the titles of your courses also. Materials for mechanical engineering.
okay,
Okay, that's first
okay,
thing. That's where you start, because you're talking to the students. You're telling the students what course this is and why you are learning. So you're teaching now materials for mechanical engineering or engineering materials for mechanical discipline, something like that. You have
yeah,
to bring
correct.
in that focus. Now, why do you teach that?
Yeah, so I was about to tell the same answer. Like
Yeah.
we teach this because the outcome of this course is
Uh-huh.
required for
Uh-huh.
upcoming courses, which is called as a design of structures, design of mechanical components.
Okay. Let me tell you. But in the industry, is this course required or not?
Uh, yes, certainly, because without this course, the
Then,
students will not
then
be
that
able
means
to
if
carry
it is required in the industry, listen, when you said certainly, if it is required in the industry, that means there is some job he will do in the industry with this course. Agreed? It is not only design. Design is one aspect, one small thing,
Hmm.
I would put it.
Okay.
So what is that? See, when you,
Sir, when you say
yeah, go on.
job, whether
Yes.
the entire
Macro
the
level job.
aspects of
That's why I
the
said
job.
macro level. See, course,
Huh.
meso level and macro level. That's the difference that is there. The industry knows what is a macro level job, and the industry knows what are the subtasks is the meso level job. Okay,
Hmm.
go ahead.
So that's what. So thing is that when you say
So
material science,
I will tell you the competence. I will
okay.
tell you evaluate the material used in various mechanical engineering applications. That's what he will
Yes,
do with the
perfect.
industry. And he'll be given salary for that. Okay.
Yes.
Suppose given a ball bearing, or suppose he's
Hmm.
given one sheet metal. He will have to look
Hmm.
at it, do some experiments on that, and then tell, well, these are the properties which is required for this or which is not required for this. So he's evaluating.
Hmm.
Got it? So there is no course in engineering which the industry
Hmm.
does not want. If the industry does not want, that means that course should be deleted from the curriculum. So every course has an industry competency,
Okay.
but it will be a prerequisite for design also. It is also, not only, right? So that is how. And give me any other course I will help you to design competencies for that. Okay. So
Yeah.
only when you start doing and thinking like this, then you will arrive at what the industry wants. And then you have to validate from the industry. Industry will definitely say they need materials for mechanical engineering. So civil engineering will have a different. That means the contents will differ from discipline to discipline. Okay. Based on the competency decides the content. The COs will decide the content. That's what I said. So yesterday somebody was telling from the content we arrive at the COs. No, that's wrong. That's why I started from the competency. Right? So from the competency, you derive the COs. That's why I use the word derive, not identify. But competency, I said identify, because it is from the industry you are going to validate it like that. Yeah. Any question for the question?
Sir, can I ask one more
Am I
question?
correct if I say that in the
Yeah.
first year, am I correct if I say that in the first year of UG program, there should be a kind of introductory courses from later to the second year, there should be kind of applicable level courses, third year, evaluate level of courses, fourth year, some, create level courses.
See, NEP 2020, yesterday I told you, 0 to 99 is prerequisite courses. 100 to 199 is foundation courses or introductory courses. NEP has already told that, no? Yesterday I talked about, you remember that?
Yeah, I remember. So that's why I
Yeah.
was.
So those courses NEP has already told. So you have to start following the NEP guidelines that will help you.
Okay. Sir, in that aspects, when you take the
Yeah.
second year course, okay,
Pardon
which are
me?
kind of foundational courses.
Yeah.
So how can we train the student or calculate the attainment or the outcome from the
Yes, I can
student?
do it. You give me an example, I will tell you. You give me an example, I'll tell you.
Yeah, the same thing, sir. The material science. We said
Yeah.
Evaluate the material property. If
Yes.
that is the competency, since
Yeah.
that the cognitive
Not
domain
no.
is that
I'm
evaluate.
not saying. I didn't say evaluate the material property. I said evaluate the materials used in engineering applications. Property is one aspect. Okay, so we have to see the way we identify the competency is very crucial. I didn't say properties. Property may be one as one CO.
Okay.
It is one subtask. There are many others. Okay, like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you continue.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, how about, hello, sir. How about,
Yeah. You're speaking from?
I'm Venugopal.
Okay, Venugopal. Yeah.
Yeah. How can we find this competency level for basic science courses, maybe for mathematics, chemistry,
Tell
physics, and first
me.
year courses?
Tell me. Basic science. I will tell you the competency. Which are you talking about? Give me one course.
Say physics course. Engineering physics 1 course will be there.
Engineering
only.
physics. Yesterday I have displayed it. Didn't you see that? Yesterday I displayed that competency in a different way. Use the principles of physics to solve complex engineering problems. Okay. Therefore, you should not have generic physics. You should have physics for electrical engineers, physics for civil engineers, physics for mechanical engineers. Therefore, there may be certain common units, but for mechanical, there will be certain extra units or maybe different units. So in OBE, you can't have common courses. Let me put it very bluntly. You should have discipline-specific courses. Earlier, we used to have a lot of common courses. Forget about common courses in OBE. You should have discipline-specific courses. Then only you can develop the competencies required for that discipline. Yes.
Okay, sir.
So one more question, sir, from my side. Wilson from Karani.
Yeah. Yes, Wilson.
Sir, for the COs displayed, sir, for all the 5 COs, what kind of assessment methods or tools that we should decide or go with?
COs can be measured only, COs and competency can be measured only through micro projects.
Okay,
You
sir.
have to have micro projects. That is the basic mistake that SAR was doing up to 2024. They never had micro projects. They were telling that you have to test it through pen and paper. You can't do that.
Yeah, that's what, sir. since
Yes.
evaluate, interpret, or these things
Yes,
are there.
you can't
So
do
now
it.
I was wondering whether how to evaluate with these things.
Yes, you can't
The
do
pen
it.
and paper methods. It is
Yeah, you
difficult.
can't do it. That's what I said.
Okay.
Got it. So you have to have micro projects. I will show you a course structure which
Okay, sir.
I am promoting in all the places where I am giving my consultation. Okay,
Okay, sir.
now this is part of that. What I'm showing you is part of the
Okay,
uh,
sir.
course structure.
Okay.
This is this is the third one. Okay, I think it's time to show you the course structure.
Yes.
Now let me, yeah. Now I think since you've started asking questions, I should go for that. Now, this is the course structure of one course. Okay, I'm talking of, can you see it? Can you see it?
Yes, sir. We can
Yes, sir.
see it.
Okay, I'm talking of, I'm not giving you the institute where I am giving, but it has been done that. This is a student-centered, industry-friendly, outcome-based, competency-focused course structure, OPCFC. Okay, and this is based on refer to UGC SOP. That means Standard Operating Procedure Document 2024, NBA SAR, UGC, and so all these things have been. All these people say that this is wanted. Therefore, I have given that reference. Now, suppose I'm taking electronics and telecommunication engineering. Okay, this course is developed for that. So the student, now listen, you're giving this to the student. The student knows that for this CO, this is the PEO one that is applicable. Innovate digital electronic systems and substance for the. So in your syllabus now, you don't have this. So in this format which I am showing you, you should have this one, because you are communicating to the student what are the things he will have to do in the industry in future, and how this course, and this course is related to PEO 1. Similarly, you are having PSO or PLO. Evaluate the performance. This is for electronics. For PSO 1, it is evaluate the performance of satellites and communication systems and or subsystems. Okay, they have taken that. Okay, now what is the prerequisites required? This is a UG program. This is a PCC course. Prerequisites are signals and systems and digital electronics. And this is offered in the 5th semester. So the student is very clear where and what it is. This is the thing. Then we come to the rationale. The rationale tells the student where this is going to be used. That means these 4 to 5 sentences in this paragraph are to motivate the students to acquire the learning outcomes. So in the course structure, what you'll have the COs, you have the PROs, you have the LUOs, you have the ADOs. There are different types of learning outcomes. So to acquire the learning outcomes in this course, required to do the main task in the industry effectively. That is why this rationale is given. So they are telling where DSP is being used in the industry, in audio streams, images, video. Okay. So, and on the performance of the various mathematical tools, all those things. In short, in 3 or 4 sentences, you are motivating the student. So whichever faculty is developing this course structure, he has to or she has to write the rationale. Okay. Okay. Then with that, then you come to the competency, which I had already shown you. This is the second part. This is as per NBA 2024, SAR, SOP, all these page numbers also have given, right? So this is all based on NEP 2020 only. That's what we have done. So the basic purpose of this one, you're telling the student, see, through this course structure, you are communicating to the student what you want to do. That means The destination is very, very clearly given to the student. You don't have to go and explain to him. Okay, so the basic purpose of this one sentence is to help the student to develop the following macro level competency, which is an entry level industry specific task that is to be attained by the student through this course. So when he knows this competency, even if you don't teach, the student can learn on his own by going to the internet, going to Google, seeing the video programs. He can do many things. So even if you don't teach, because the destination is known, he can or she can learn on his own as well. So what you are doing, you are helping the student to learn to learn. I'm going to repeat that sentence. By giving the outcomes very clearly, you are helping the students learn to learn, and how to learn and from where to learn. Okay, so this competency is given, and then from this competency you derive the COs. Okay, so if you see that, if your competency is, because this is an what you call graduate level competency, it is starting with the word evaluate. So in the CO also, or the CLO also, you should have at least 2 or 3 evaluate levels course outcomes, so that the competency is achieved. Okay, my next question is, in the industry, what is he supposed to do as soon as he enters the industry? Yes. Mechanical engineering, or maybe anybody.
Sir,
Training will be given at entry level.
That's the problem. Industry does not want to spend extra money on training people. They want industry ready graduates. Because we were not, or the education system was not giving them industry ready graduates, they were spending crores of rupees in training the students. Now with so many students coming out, they say your students are unemployable. We don't want to train them also. If you can give us industry ready students, we will employ them. Otherwise, we are not going to employ them. Okay. So you are to give the industry ready students, graduates. So on the day one, what will they do? Suppose they are supposed to evaluate the performance of digital signal processing. So what is the first job they will do? Okay, if I am the fellow, I will give them a circuit, and I tell them, okay, tell me, is this circuit working or not? Am I right? Because his competency is evaluate. So I'll tell him, I'll give him a very simple circuit to begin with. The industry will give to find out whether he knows whether he has the competency. So he will do something. So that is a practical, right? So from the COs, first you have to not derive the theory, you have to derive the practicals. That is what your curriculum should be. But now that is not happening at all. So from the COs, the practicum flows out. The following industry specific micro level outcomes or practical outcomes or practicum, which NEP 2020 talks about, that emerge from the industry specific COs and competence statements are generally related to the psychomotor domain that are to be possessed by the students at certain level of Dewey's psychomotor domain taxonomy. Often the best places are the labs, workshops, field, studio, or community. So for the first CO, okay, now let me tell you. So for the first CO, what is the first CO? Okay, let me split the screen. Okay. Can you all see? Yes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I split the screen. I'm going on the top. Okay. This is a course structure. I'm not showing you all because there's not much time in that. We cannot discuss all. Yeah. Now we are at CO1. For CO1, how many practicals can be generated? In this, there are 4 practicals can be done. So that means for doing the job in the industry to interpret the functioning of the DSP methods, you can develop or 4 practicals are required. Okay, CO1, CO2. Okay, and they are at Dewey's tax. I will talk about Dewey's taxonomy later, but generate the elementary discrete time sequences using MATLAB for the given signals. So that is required for CO1, for CO2 also, for random noise, for CO3 also. Similarly, for what are the practicals which the industry wants for CO2? CO2, it would be determine the convolution of the given signals using MATLAB, determine the correlation of the given signals using MATLAB. Then for CO3, interpret the application discrete Fourier, you will have practicals, perform the frequency analysis for the given signals. So there is only one practical for CO3, but CO4 has 3. So each CO will consist of some practicals. And how will you assess the practicals? You will assess the practicals in the lab. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how the LUOs are developed. Are you all following me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you. Now look at this. What are the LUOs? The following 5 to 6 apply. Here, LUOs, the cognitive domain outcomes are only for the revised Bloom's taxonomy is only for the cognitive domain outcomes. The following 5 to 6 apply and above level learning unit outcomes stated in each learning unit related to the revised Bloom's taxonomy in the cognitive domain of human learning are to be attained by each student through the semester. These LUOs are needed to perform the PROs. Remember, again I'm reading. These LUOs are needed to perform the PROs required by the industry for the development of the CLOs and the competency. Got it? So now let me go here. Now, whatever was in your syllabus, that is coming here. Okay? That is coming here. You will write down in this 3rd column. And in this column, you have the unit title. Okay? The CO is interpret the functioning of the given signal, which we have already seen. And for that, how many practicals was there? Generate elementary discrete time sequence. Generate. So so now the student knows that for that competency, CO1 is this one. These are the practicals related to that CO, right? And the contents are given here, or the topics are given here, right? And then to fulfill these PROs, you have the pen and paper learning unit outcomes. So the pen and paper, or LUO, is this one, 1A. It talks about justify the need of signal processing for the given situation. So in the question paper, what will you give? You will give a situation where he will justify why signal processing is required. If you take 1B, evaluate the effect of signal processing for the specified condition. So in the pen and paper test, what will you give? You'll give a specified condition, and then the student will say what is the effect of signal processing. So this is apply level. That means apply level means it will be at a real situation that you're going to give. Here also you will see that they are all given situations, and these are required for the PROs. So in the industry, when he has to do some work, some experiment, some practical, he needs this. So the industry is going to give him money for doing this and not for this. Let me tell you. So the theory is the underpinning material. That is why the word I'm using is underpinning learning unit outcomes. They are required to do the practicals, and remember, all the three put together, both practical and theory put together, you get the CO. The CO is achieved here. So you cannot assess the CO independently. It is only through micro projects. So CO1 is developed. Similarly, through unit 2, CO2 is developed. PRO 5 and PRO 6 are there. The contents are given here. The unit title is given here. Okay? Like that. And if you see this one, why this is green? So out of, say, 5 learning units, 1 he has to learn on his own. You have to encourage self-learning. So the simplest of the learning outcome you have to give for self-learning, and that is why it is colored as green. Now you will see that as per NEP 2020, we are assessing the outcomes, not the understanding or the concept of the topics. So you cannot have outcomes with describe, explain, list. You cannot use that, because that is the industry will not give you salary for explaining and describing. The industry will give you salary only for justifying, determining, finding. Are you with me? Did you understand?
Yes.
So your entire course structure has to be re-engineered. Now you have only the syllabus. So this have to, and now I'll try to, let us go back to the PPT. I've just shown you how the course structure has to be developed. In the course structure, even in this course structure, the affective domain outcomes are given. Now the affective domain outcomes, it is given in this POs. The POs are attained through this. Okay, the following affective domain outcomes are not specific to any of the above listed PROs, but are embedded in many PROs. Hence, the acquisition of the affective domain outcomes takes place gradually in the student when he or she performs a series of practical exercises, undertakes projects, community work, and other teaching learning strategies through the 8 semesters of the UG program. So follow safe practices, function as a group leader, function as a team leader. How can you assess this? This is assessed through rubrics which you have to use in the laboratories. So you'll have to develop rubrics to assess the outcomes. How will you assess the micro projects? That is also through rubrics. So there's a total overhaul or total re-engineering of the program, of the curriculum has to be done. So this is for one course I'm telling you. There are, for every course, this has to be done only. You will have a real outcome-based curriculum. So finally, what you will do, you will have the course articulation metrics where you will do all these things. Okay, now let us go back to the not this. This is 8A. I'll just close this. Yes. Yeah. So we were here. So now you see what was there in that Word document. I had cut and paste here just to show you this. So next. So what is the course learning outcome? That means a CEO will have practical outcomes, learning unit outcomes, and affective domain outcomes, which I have shown you. The three types of outcomes are there. So that means within the competency, there is a CO, and within each CO, there are competencies at macro level. So within the competency, you have the meso level course learning outcomes, and within each course learning outcomes, you have the micro level practical outcome, the learning unit outcome, and the affective domain outcomes, which we have seen. So now I'll just go take you there. Now, what is this cognitive domain outcomes? They are head-related skills or intellectual or mental skills. Okay, and all human beings learn through the three domains of learning. So yesterday I told you about the definition of learning. What is learning? Do any of you remember?
Cognitive, psychomotor, and affective domain.
No, what definition of learning?
Change in behavior.
Yes,
the
very
behavior,
good, very good.
they get the
It is
update.
relatively
Relatively
permanent
change in
change in
behaviors.
behavior. So this behavior can be at the cognitive level. This change in behavior has to be at the psychomotor level also. That is hand related. And the change in behavior has to be at the affective domain also. So when the change in behavior in all the three domains take place, the COs are developed. The COs get integrated. Okay. Now let's go. Let me tell you this small thing. I taught my parrot to whistle. One boy is telling his friend, and he's telling, but I do not hear it whistling. He's telling, I only said that I taught. Never did I say that it learned to whistle. Okay, that's what we do. We have to make the students do. The change in behavior has to come. So in OBE, it is not what the teachers teach, that's the process, but it's what the students can do as a result. That is the outcome of our teaching. Okay, and every LO has to be observable and measurable. So when the parrot whistles, you can hear, so you can measure. Okay, so whistling is which is observable and measurable. So anything taking place inside the head is not an outcome. Only when they do it in the lab or on the pen and paper, then only we can say that learning has taken place. Okay, so sometimes the psychomotor domain, the cognitive domain, they can overlap also. So whichever is predominant, then that learning outcome falls in that category. Okay. So affective domain is heart related, psychomotor domain is hand related or leg related, and cognitive domain is head related. So 3H, that's what I had shown in the beginning also. You have the 3Hs, head, hand, and heart. Very easy to remember. So we go ahead. Okay, now let's have a small game. You should be fast at it. Okay, based on the smart action verbs, identify in which domain do the following outcomes belong. Okay, calibrate the temperature measuring transducer. In which domain is it? You can unmute.
Psychomotor.
Very good, very good, very good. Comprehend the performance of the belt chain mechanism in the machine. In the machine, it should be. Yeah.
Cognitive.
Cognitive. Cognitive. Anybody else has any other answer?
None.
Who said none?
Anita from CS department, Karnal University.
Okay. Why you say none?
Because it tells comprehend. Comprehend means you have to give a summary of it.
Comprehend means what? Where does comprehension take place?
In the paper,
Understanding in the
then
brain.
in the explaining the things, the
Where
basic
does comprehension my question, where does comprehension takes place?
In the brain, sir.
In the brain. You can't say it. You are correct, madam. Because you can't, it is not observable and measurable. It is not a learning outcome at all. Okay, it is not a smart verb.
Okay.
Okay, good. You are that the answer you have to give. That's why I asked you. Somebody else who answered in the brain? Somebody answered in the brain. Who said?
Wilson, sir.
Comprehension. Huh? Wilson, very
Wilson.
good. Good. Now build a power system model using MATLAB software. Which domain is it?
Cognitive.
Cognitive. Why cognitive? Okay, let me ask you. Why cognitive? Who said cognitive?
Sir, my name is Suresh Mane. I am principal of one engineering college at Kolhapur in Maharashtra.
Okay. Go on. Yeah. Why you say it's cognitive?
Because he has to use MATLAB software.
Huh?
So software.
Will he use the MATLAB software on pen and paper?
No.
Then how can it be cognitive?
But to use that software, even I am not used to software. इसलिए I was thinking ये cognitive है. Either next is psychomotor.
हम thinking नहीं होगा साहब. क्या है? He can use it only in the computer lab on the software. Therefore, anything outside the classroom, in the lab, in the field, that comes under the psychomotor domain. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's
Thank
it.
you.
Okay, very good. No, we are learning. It's a game. It's an educational game. Okay. Study the performance of the laser printer. Which domain?
Cognitive.
Cognitive. Who said that? You're from?
Kalaimani.
Okay. It is cognitive. Okay. Anybody else has any other answer?
I think it is psychomotor, sir.
Is study a smart action verb? Does it have the 5 characteristics?
No.
No.
No. Then it is not. It is not a learning outcome at all. It is none. Okay. It has to be a smart action. Then only it falls in the category of a learning outcome. Okay. Design temperature measuring transducer to be used in pipelines. We are all teachers. We should be sure that only we can tell the student. Cognitive. Okay. If the student is designing the temperature measuring transducer in the lab, it is psychomotor domain. If he is doing on pen and paper, then it is cognitive domain. But in the industry, he will do it generally he will do it in both places. So this is 50-50. This can be, it depends upon what the student is asked to do. If he is asked to do in the lab, it is psychomotor domain. If he is asked to do on pen and paper, it is cognitive domain. Okay, good. Next, appreciate the performance of universal testing machine.
None.
Why none?
Affective.
Appreciate is wrong word, sir.
Affective.
Yeah, appreciate is not a, it is
Wrong
as
word.
it is not a smart action verb. Don't say wrong word. It is not a smart action verb. Okay, you can appreciate. It is appreciating inside the brain. You cannot see it. Okay. Now, detect the bugs in the given software program. Yes.
Psychomotor.
Psychomotor. Okay. Who said psychomotor?
Vishwanath, sir. Dr. Vishwanath from Manipal.
Vishwanath. From Manipal. Yes, Vishwanath.
Yeah.
Okay,
student,
you're good. Yeah.
we'll be
But
using the
suppose
software.
I give the software, I give the codes of the software program in pen and paper, and purposefully take out one line. Cannot. Will that is also detecting the bug, no?
Yeah. That is.
So therefore, it depends where you give. If you're giving this on pen and paper, it is cognitive domain. If he's doing it on the computer screen, it is psychomotor domain. Okay.
Right.
So that overlap can be there. Okay. That's why okay. Analyze the given problem. Yes.
None.
None. Who said none?
The same, sir.
Who
Vishwanath.
said? Yes, Vishwanath. Why none?
No, it is kind of incomplete statement.
No, it is complete. Analyze the given problem. It's complete.
Now, analyze, first of all, analyze is not smart.
Very good.
And
that is the thing. It's you. The very first word decides whether it is smart. Whether it's not a learning outcome at all, because you cannot observe and measure. Maintain the centrifugal and reciprocating pumps in the process industries. Yes.
Psychomotor,
Psychomotor.
cognitive.
Psychomotor. Very good. Maintain.
Psychomotor.
It cannot be in pen and paper. Optimize the steam pressure for efficient working of boilers.
it's cognitive, sir. And also psychomotor.
And both, yes. It depends where you are giving it. If it is you're giving a pen and paper exercise or a problem, then it is cognitive. Otherwise, it is psychomotor. Discuss the gyroscopic effect on machine working.
None.
Very good. None, because discuss is a continuous process. There is no end to it. Okay. Therefore, it is none. Good. Program microprocessors to control the speed of single-phase induction motors. Yes.
Psychomotor, sir.
Psychomotor, as well as?
Cognitive.
Yes, as well as cognitive. If he's doing on a pen and paper, it is cognitive. If he does on the system, then it is psychomotor. Good. Know the balancing principle to evaluate the working of the machine.
None.
None. Very good. Now I think you've become smart. Good. Test the software module for effective and efficient functioning.
Psychomotor.
Psychomotor, because testing cannot be done on pen and paper, right? So I think now you have understood the difference between the three domains. Okay. Now, what is a CO now? A CO is a meso-level industry-specific subtask of a macro-level industry-specific competency exhibited as an integrated performance of several micro-level outcomes related to the three domains of learning. Okay. So, we are here. You have some practicals. For that practicals, some theory is required. And for that theory, the psychomotor domain is required. Did you get it? This is how. So you cannot measure the CO by using Bloom's taxonomy, which is a big blunder many people are doing. Many people. Even the NBA, some of the members, they also tell the wrong things. Okay. Because I have been with them, I know. Well, so what I want you to say is, please understand what a CO is. Many people across academia, they have never understood what a course outcome or course learning outcome is. Any questions so far? We have just 10 minutes more.
Sir, are there any specific action verbs given anywhere apart from Bloom's taxonomy, sir, or we should actually derive them?
You have to. Yeah, very good, very good. Who's speaking?
Sir, Wilson, sir.
Wilson. Very good, Wilson. On the internet, there's a lot of garbage. Don't take that. The action verbs are derived based on the activity the student has to do in the industry.
Yes, sir.
At what level? Please don't, because on the internet you will find a lot of verbs which are used at different levels. No. What is the answer that you want? That will give you the action verb.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that will come only through practice.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now this one, what I have said, I'll just try to correlate with the course structure. What this slide, I'm correlating with the course structure now. Just have a look at it. See, this is the course structure is there, CROs are there, this the PROs are there, and the learning unit outcomes are there. Okay. So it does not talk about, this is only a vehicle. So you're not assessing the topics, but you are assessing the course outcomes. That is the first thing that you have to start doing in your question paper design as well. Well, I've within the short notice, all those things cannot be talked about. Let me come back again. So this is what it is. Okay. Okay. So you have these things have to be derived. So from each course, you have to do that. Okay. So now you have again, we are going from the beginning. We know it, PSO, PEO, PLO. Then you have the competency. From the competency, you have to derive the COs. Okay. So if I go like that, I have all whatever I've shown you on the Word document, I'm showing you here. This is how it should look like. For your own program, I've done this for electronics DSP. Unless you do it for yourself, you will never understand. The taste of the pudding lies in the eating. Unless you do it on your own, you will never be able to understand it, how it should be done. Okay. And if there is any doubt, you can refer to my book. I'll just skip this because we are running short of time. So I'm going to show a small thing. Out of this, I'm going to take CO2 or ClO2, right? And going to see what are the practical outcomes there, how it is done. So we have this one, ClO2. Then from the ClO2, the industry wants that they should do these things. And for doing these things, they should follow the safe practices, that is the affective domain outcomes and practice ethics. And then for doing the practical outcomes, they should have the learning unit outcomes. Okay, these are samples I'm giving. And then you have the topics. So from yesterday, now you must have understood from the competency and from the CLOs and the practical outcomes and the learning unit outcomes, the topics emerge out. So so when you develop the curriculum, you develop it in this direction. But when you start teaching, you take the topics, teach the learning outcomes so that he can perform the practical outcomes. So when they can perform the practical outcomes, the CLOs are developed. Each CLO gets developed. Okay. That's what I wanted to show you. Okay. So this is an individual activity. You can do it for your own course, right? And now most teachers are not aware of the various expertise levels of the PROs when administering the practicum to the students. And it is called, just like Bloom's taxonomy, you have Dewey's taxonomy of the psychomotor domain, and that's what we are going to see. In Bloom's taxonomy, there are 6 levels. This has 5 levels. There are many types of psychomotor domain taxonomy, but Dewey's is the simplest and the easiest for academicians to implement. Therefore, this is being used all over India, especially. Imitation, that means he observes the skill and attempts to repeat it. It is something like remember in Bloom's taxonomy, revised Bloom's taxonomy. So the next stage, that means example is operate the equipment to produce a job under the supervision of the expert. That means he will not do it independently. If he is able to do it independently, then the student is said to be at the manipulation level, performs the skill according to instruction rather than observation, operates the equipment to produce a job referring to the operational skills. In the first stage, he observed the skill and repeated it. In the second stage, he is able to operate the equipment looking at the operational manual or service manual. Third level is precision. Produces a skill with accuracy, proportion, exactness, usually performed independent of the source. That means produce the given job to the required specification and precision. So the industry wants that at least at the third level, we should produce students, or our practicals should be what? Administered in such a way that the students are able to perform with some level of precision. That is why we call it Dave's taxonomy D1, D2, D3. So at D3 level, they have to perform. So this D3 level was written in that course structure. Okay, let me show you that again. This is the course structure, right? So each practical should be at the D3 level. This is what D3 level is talking about. Okay, so when you design the course structure, all should be at least at the D3 level for the UG programs. The time required is also given. Okay, so I'll just take 2 minutes more. So at the precision level, then after the precision level, you have the articulation level. That means combines more than one skill in a sequence with harmony and consistency. Example, produce a variety of jobs on a lathe to the required specification in the specified time limit. Now time limit has also come. So you may not be able to develop that level of expertise within 4 years. So the industry is happy with precision, but they will be very happy if articulation is also there. Okay, and then the last comes naturalization. Completes one or more skills with ease and becomes automatic with limited physical or mental exertion. That means he produces a job on the lathe by manipulating the lathe controls with dexterity. That means it becomes part of his natural habit. That is why it's called naturalization. So in our 4 years time, we may not be able to reach naturalization, but at least up to precision level, we can develop. So this D3 that I showed you on the course structure is this one. So I think I'll take 1 or 2 questions, and then maybe we can call it a day for today for me. Tomorrow, I will continue where I stopped. We have to talk about affective domain also and revise Bloom's taxonomy. I knew I would not get the time because this is a very highly compressed thing that I'm showing you. I know some of the things you may not have understood because it's a very large concepts that you have, and you have to do it also. Only when you do it and you get feedback, you will really understand it. Okay, that's why people call me offline most of the time. Yeah. Okay.
Sir, one question, sir.
Sharing. Pardon me.
Can I ask one question, sir?
Yeah. You asked more than one question.
Should all our courses be theory plus practical, or how do we go with this?
All your courses should be theory with practical only.
Okay.
If you really want to be outcome-based curriculum, and that's what the industry wants, the industry will be very happy with that.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, Dr. Vishwanath here. I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
So now that we have understood or we have learned rather from your lecture from yesterday until that there is a need for overhauling. of the
Yes.
entire curriculum and etc.
Entire thing. You have to re-engineer.
Yeah. And this is also mandatory considering the new SAR into.
Yes.
So now in this aspect, I want to know how frequently can we change PSOs?
How? No. See, it is not you who are deciding.
Huh.
It is the industry who will tell. You will not change.
No, sir. Finally, industry will tell us that
Yes.
we want this.
See, it depends upon the resources that you have, especially, I would say, human resources, as well as practicals. That will decide your PSO. You can have expertise in so many things. Develop your, that's the thing.
Yeah, suppose I have expertise, I have got the faculty, in the advanced technologies. So considering that into picture, can I change my PSOs as and when required?
Yes. I mean, after one cycle, basically. Generally, it is after one cycle. Because then you evaluate your curriculum, whether that was okay or not. And then based on that, you can. And then moreover, you may have new faculty coming in with new expertise. You may have new labs being set up. Accordingly, PSOs will change then.
Okay. So the same question, how frequently can we change the COs? Suppose
No. That COs you cannot change. The competency will have to change. Then only the COs can change.
Yes.
You cannot change the COs. The competency will have to be revalidated from the industry again. See, the COs are fully, that's why the problem with present confusion across the country, they have not identified the competencies for the courses. Competency is the foundation. Because you don't have the competencies, most of your COs, let me tell you, 90% of your COs are wrongly written. 90%. That is the basic problem. That is why all the confusion is happening in the country.
Okay.
If you can refer to my book, and that will help you. I've given a lot of examples in my book.
Yes.
The latest one, especially.
So now that the NBA has decreased the number of POs or PROs from 12 to 11.
No. That is not PR. They are POs.
POs from 12 to 11. So the entire CAM will have to go overall for all the courses.
What is that CIM?
Course articulation matrix.
Yeah,
wherein we show the.
Let me tell you, these are all. Let me tell you, these course articulation, they are all very, very small things. You concentrate on the quality, automatically the quantity will come in. If you concentrate on the quantity, your quality will go for a toss.
Correct.
You concentrate on the quality. I have never talked about quantity here in this so far, and I'm against quantity because ABET is against quantity. It is quality.
Okay.
That is where we are making. I would say NBA is doing a lot of blunders. They have still not corrected, though feedback has been given. See, the thing is, it is very easy for them they want to have the numbers rather than the quality. See, they have to train the evaluators also. See, that is not what's happening.
Okay.
They are not talked about competency in the NBA. They talked on the cover page. Inside, there's zero. That's the problem. And they are not telling how the COs has to be written. They are not telling that the COs are industry specific. Many shortcomings are there. In the earlier SAR, this SAR also. That's why I said this SAR, old wine in new bottle. Nothing else. So what I want to say is, whether NBA or no NBA, okay, if you make a very good 100%, maybe I'll tell you tomorrow. Okay. 100% placement you will have, even if you don't have NBA. Let me tell you, if you have a good curriculum. I will give you an example tomorrow. I'll tell you that story. And when all of us gather together.
When you showed the course structure, so the course outcomes being mapped to the COs being mapped to PO. So each CO, for example, at the evaluate level or interpret level, so they are addressing at least some 5 to 6 POs.
Yes, definitely.
Each CO is addressing that.
Yes.
how do
Not 5 to POs, maybe 1 or 2 at least.
okay,
Not
because
see, the competencies may attend and may address maybe most of the POs, but the COs will not address all the POs. That is why competency is important. See, COs, all the COs put together is the competency.
so that
Each-
means, for example, if I for a particular CO,
Yeah.
when I map it to, or say, taking an example, PO1, PO2, PO5, PO6.
Yeah.
So it is addressing the knowledge skills, it is addressing the application skills, and it is addressing the ethics, it is addressing the communication. So for all this, I need to measure it through the assessments. So how do I say a particular?
That is through micro projects only. See, only through micro projects this can be done. It cannot, COs cannot be addressed through any other way.
Only through micro projects.
Only through micro projects. Otherwise, you tell me. There's no other method. That is why we introduced it. We introduced the concept of micro projects 12 years back, first time in Maharashtra. And now it's gone in many places. See, these are the innovations that we have been doing. Myself, my colleagues, my team members have been doing.
Okay.
And which NBA has still yet to get it. That's the thing. So wherever I'm going, I'm helping them out. That's it.
So for every course, should there be a micro project?
Yes, every course will have a micro project.
Okay. Apart from the practical component.
Practical is a different thing. Practical course, micro project is for integrating the COs.
Correct.
The practicals are to integrate each CO. Micro project is to integrate all the COs. Practicals are, maybe 4 practicals will integrate 1 CO. Are you getting me? Did you? I showed you that course structure.
So that micro project will directly assess the competency.
Yes. Both CO and the competency. COs and the competency.
Okay.
Maybe tomorrow I'll talk about the micro project if there is time. But because it's too short, no?
Yes. Thank you, sir.
There are many things.
I took a lot of time, and thank
No,
you, sir.
no, it's okay. Do you have my book? If you can get it, all your questions will be answered.
Yeah, certainly, sir. Now that I came to know about it, I was unaware.
The latest one,
I'm sure.
2024.
Definitely get that. Thank you, sir.
Because NEP 20, I talk about NEP 2020 things also.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Okay,
you
bye.
very much.